Hello everybody, welcome back. Just continuing right from where we left off last stream. Some more Fire Emblem Awakening, Lunatic Plus. We're going to finish chapter 23 today. The only change I really made was moving some of my characters around a little bit. I moved Noir a little bit closer because we know that we're going to be pushing to the north with our new strategy, with our revised strategy. We're going to be pushing to the north. So I moved Noir, Olivia, and Saria all closer to the north side. That way they can actually move in the direction that I'm trying to move. Hello Tricky, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here today. I don't know if anyone saw, but I put up the Henry guide video this morning at the normal time, but I uploaded it yesterday. And this was the first time that I ever tried to have a video that's basically available to members first, and then becomes available to everyone else afterwards. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing that in the future or not, but I wanted to test out the feature, and it seemed like it worked. It didn't cause any problems as far as I could tell, so that was pretty cool. Tricky, you saw it? Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Spin did a really good job on the editing on that video, especially the first 2 minutes, which is like the most important part of the video. I told him to focus on that a lot, and I think he did a really good job with that. Hello, Glauda Praiser. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Seems like people are extremely excited about Lunatic plus Iron Man. Honestly, there's a part of me. Hold on, let me identify all the enemies who have counter first before I get too caught up in reading chat and talking to chat. You have counter. Honestly, not that many this time. You have it. You have it. Yeah, not as many as last time. And now that we're actually focusing more on the game, I think we can do a much better job of getting good attempts done. Okay, so the big problem that we have to reconcile is the fact that we cannot use our rescue staff until this barrier goes down. Even though we would only be using it to rescue characters on this side of the barrier, the way the mechanic works, in order to prevent you from rescuing Robin or Chrom, they make it so your rescue staffs just do not work until you get rid of that barrier. So we're going to have to for just this turn specifically, we're going to have to be very careful about how we move our characters around. I guess that is the way I should say it. And with that in mind, in fact, let me go like this. And what I was going to say was, I'm going to do a much better job of focusing this week as compared to last week. Because last week I had a pretty limited amount of time that I was able to stream. This week I can technically stream as long as I want, but and plus on top of that there was other stuff I was dealing with last weekend. But I can kind of just take my time and make sure that I do everything correctly. Okay, so for example, if we want to get rid of this guy with the Ruin Tome, I think we should probably... I want to see if this pair can do it. I doubt that they can, but if they can, that will kind of open up possibilities. They could definitely attack him, but they're at risk of getting hit by Ruin in the process. And then the other character, the other option was basically Lonk. And if we use Lonk for this... he doesn't necessarily guarantee the kill. He's more likely to dodge, and he's more likely to get the kill. He's not necessarily guaranteed to get either. Still, I want to minimize the number of times that I have to potentially dodge Ruin crits. Which, thanks to Lonku being awesome, we only had to dodge one Ruin crit there. So that's good. Hello, Alpha C. Welcome to the stream. You want me to clutch up today? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do my best today. Yeah, I was considering the possibility of doing some Lunatic plus Iron Man attempts today, or starting an attempt, even though I definitely know that the attempt probably wouldn't go anywhere. I'm hitting the point now where I've done enough practice, I've done enough prep. I just need to start doing practice runs on stream, because that's the only way I'm going to get better at the chapters that really matter, is by actually doing them in with Iron Man restrictions, placed on myself. The only problem is I have something pretty important that I have to do tomorrow, so I don't think I can stream for a very long time today either. Hello, Green Dracomon. Welcome to the stream, or Green Decomon. Welcome to the stream. Am I interested in the upcoming Fire Emblem? It looks pretty interesting, I'll say. I would say I'm interested in really any Fire Emblem game. So, you know, hopefully it's going to be great. We don't know for sure, but you know, we have pretty good reason to suspect that it will be good because it's a Fire Emblem game. Most of them are pretty good. Okay, this guy has... I think I want to go this route. I would use the parallel falchion here. Pair up, go like this. Okay, so I would either do Javelin, which is not necessarily guaranteed, or... and his bow is not guaranteed either. Okay, in that case, you definitely want to go Javelin. 82% chance here, on top of the crit chance. Yeah, we got the kill. Plus on top of the Aether chance. Okay. This puts us in a really good position now. We can just set up to enemy phase. The enemies that we want to get rid of. So let me start by identifying those enemies. This guy for sure we want to get rid of on enemy phase if we can. I think we can. What I can do probably is fly these two back over. But before that, I want to see if there's anyone that they can eliminate. Like, for example, this guy here, or this guy here. I don't think they can reach that one. Unfortunately, they cannot. But they have one more charge of Gale Force they can trigger. I'm going to go for this. Got it. Okay. Now we can set them up in a position where they can enemy phase this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, here. This is going to be the actual square where he can target Nosferatu. So we're going to go like this. Yeah, I feel good about this. Here. Remember, we cannot use rescue stabs this turn, so we have to be very careful about what we're doing. I'll also rally speed for everyone else while I'm here. Okay. Next one I'm really concerned about is probably how much punishment can Saria take if I put her at the top. The problem is, without her main para partner, which is usually Robin, her value is a lot lower. Also, she actually can't fight just that guy. Let's see if there's anyone else we can isolate. It would probably be him. Can she take a Bolganon? 52? Certainly she can. Alright. Let's do... her native speed is enough to double. Okay, I have an idea of what I want to do. It's a little wonky though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, here. And none of those guys can reach that square? No, okay. I'm gonna put her here. I'm gonna use my Flux Tome. Here's where things get a little complicated. I actually want to move them far away. I need them to be as far away as possible next turn. But I do want Owain here. Rally Magic does help. Okay. I'm thinking of also doing Rally Skill. But I also want these two to be... they don't really need to be separated. We'll just do this. I can use... probably Henry or someone else to move her next turn. Let me get you out of the way as well. I'll probably put you here. That's fine. Oh, someone else can target that square. Who? Oh no, it's not someone else can target. It's that I still have this guy highlighted. Okay. Not necessarily motivated to keep Henry nearby. She doesn't need... oh, this guy can target that square. And he has counter too, that's a problem. Well, how much is he gonna deal? Let's see if this is... I mean, honestly, I could sit here and do the math, or I could just see what happens. Either way, I'm not gonna be able to change the outcome now because I'm stuck in this position. Although I could dance. Okay, so let me see if I have to dance or not. 74 minus 27 minus 6 is 41 damage. He's not going to double me. I'm gonna have 16 HP left over. I'm going to deal 14 damage to him. Cut in half. I'll actually survive. I survive on, I think, 2 HP. Either 2 HP or 4 HP. In fact, the worst thing that could happen is if she lands a critical hit. If she lands a critical hit, I think she nukes herself. Oh, come on. And I could have danced for Owain too. It's so annoying. I hate how you can't see the range of enemies until after you move. It's so frustrating that I do this all the time. And I said I was going to be playing much better today too. I lied. Hold on a second. If I go here, I might be okay. Let me see if these two are the only guys who can reach it. Okay, if I go here, I think this blocks Owain. And I'm pretty sure that enemy will prefer to attack Noir. We'll see. And we already calc that Noir survives. No, they... Okay, prefers to attack this group. Great, I'm gonna destroy myself with counter. Wow, okay, whatever. We somehow got through it. You can pretend that I calculated that ahead of time. There's the power of vengeance right there. It just sucks that she has to fight by herself. Yeah, I said I was going to be playing a lot better without making any mistakes, but apparently that's not true. Okay, let's get rid of the barrier now. This barrier is so annoying. Wish I could one-shot him. I could use the Brave Bow, but I don't think it's worth it. I'll just do this. I'll try to hope that I'm going to dodge. I have to also skip so I don't get any lag from the animations. It's mostly just the animations from his magic. I just don't feel like dealing with it today. Okay, barrier's gone. Now we can move on with the chapter. Oh, by the way, the barrier coming down also causes lag, which is kind of funny. I'm not 100% sure why. It has something to do with particle effects. Okay. You wonder how this map is done in an Iron Man setting? Honestly, I think it probably wouldn't be that bad. By the time I get to this point, I'm going to have a very strong team. I'm going to have a much stronger team than the one I'm using right now. You have to keep in mind, this run has mostly been the product of me adapting based on, votes that people made on polls in chat, while I was streaming. People telling me to use the Generation 2 units, and me having to, completely restructure my team halfway through the game. If I was actually building my Iron Man team from the start and I had an optimized team going through the game, by the time I got to this point, my team would be a lot stronger. So there wouldn't really be as many inconsistencies or as many concerns about things like that. Let's see. Claude is saying the one thing they really like about Awakening's map design is the turn 1 pressure, which is really rare in modern Fire Emblem. Yeah, typically Awakening has really difficult turn 1, 2, and 3, and then things kind of start to level out, especially in the earlier maps. It's kind of funny that people say the early maps are really hard and later on it gets easy. I do understand in a sense why that's true, because your team gets stronger and you have a lot of tools for dealing with the difficulty, but I would actually say that the late game maps tend to actually have pressure continue past turn 3. It's a lot more common. This map, for example, has pressure on turns 4, 5, and 6. Whereas the early maps don't really have that. They only have pressure on turns 1, 2, and 3. Aside from a few exceptions. And it's mostly the later maps that tend to have pressure continue into turns 4, 5, 6, and even beyond. The difference, the reason why the late game maps are easier is just because your units are stronger. In my opinion, anyway. Okay, Can Lucina take out this guy? Somewhat reliably? Oh no, hold on a second, I would have to go the other way. I would have to go like this. This is moderately reliable. Okay, yeah, I think we set it up so that they have exact lethal with 1 dual strike. I think we did that last week. Okay, so now I want to go this way and take out one of these two. It's going to have to be this guy, which is fine because that opens up space for me to walk anyway. Yeah, you see how Lucina's damage just isn't ever quite as good as I want it to be? It's always just short of what I want. So you're always relying on crits, dual strikes, or Aether procs, which is fine. She gets those things a lot, but it really is noticeable when you compare her against other characters who don't have that problem. Alright. What I'd like to do now, I think, is actually just chip this guy. And I can't use Rapier in this class, unfortunately. But I can just do this. I don't need to kill him, I just need to chip him. And if I proc Aether, I kill him anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so what that does is it actually reduces the pressure on my other characters now, because we only have to get rid of this one guy, and then all of these other squares become safe. Getting rid of him is probably not going to be that tough, although the Tomahawk is a little bit tricky. It means whoever fights him needs to be at full health before they attack, and they also need to be able to survive his attacks, and they also need to be able to be comfortable ending the turn on low HP. In that sense, I'm actually going to use Noir here. Yeah. I have a really good chance to land a crit. Didn't even get a crit or a dual strike, but it's fine. What I'm going to do now is dance for you. And then she has enough magic to pull Noir up here. To safety. Okay. Now we can just finish off this guy. Unfortunately, if I had gotten a crit or a dual strike, he would either be gone already or his health would at least be lower, which would make it easier for Sumia to pick up this kill. Now I don't know that she can do it. Yeah, we really needed something to go our way there, and we didn't get it, but there actually is a way we can boost her magic by pairing her up with Henry. That should allow her to pick up the kill safely. The only question is, can this Tomahawk kill me? 69 minus 10? No. So we should be fine here. Oh, we got a Henry dual strike. It's kind of funny that he still doesn't do enough damage to get the kid to secure the kill, but that was still awesome. Okay, I'm feeling... yeah, this guy's a problem. This guy's a million problems. And Long Q cannot get there either. Oh, I can't actually get Long Q there. If I go like this... okay, I'm gonna have her equip the hammer. I want to get rid of him on player phase. I wish I had a killer bow. Oh well. I just need a hammer dual strike. There you go. Beautiful. I needed to either kill or weaken him. Now I can start moving my other units up here. Who targets this square? Is it just this guy? Worm Slayer. I'm very sure that Long Q can take this guy. The problem is I can't trade a sword back into his inventory. Can I? What if I rescue him to this position? Then I think I can do it. So if I rescue him to this spot, I can have... can Henry get there? He can, okay. Or sorry, Owain. Okay, so what I want to do is this. Trade. I wish he had his superior edge too. He's been holding it for the whole game. I finally put it away and now he needs it. I would really like to trade Noe as well, but I can't. I just can't do that. Hammer's not the optimal weapon for her to be using right now. Go like this, and the reason I did this was because I want to go like this. I want to grab Lisa, and I can actually either heal with Owain if I can get her to full. Is that close enough? I really want her to be on full or near full, but I also want Owain to get experience. This should be fine. Alright, and... what does this guy have? Just a spear, huh? Okay, Basilio can take him. He's a great bow user that you get for free. Which defensive skill does he have? Okay, yeah, I won't use my bow. Basilio is a fantastic free bow user. So I want her to have the hammer, so she can potentially get a hammer dual strike. And then Basilio is going to have the silver bow equipped. And you are going to move towards Saria. Okay. So Basilio should enemy phase this guy. Whether he kills or not is not a big deal, but injuring him is important. Lonku can fight this guy. Yeah, man. It would have been so great if she had a lance equipped. We just didn't have the time or the, like, space. Okay. No reinforcements this turn, and then next turn the reinforcements only come from these stairs on the right. So we're not too worried about them yet. Good morning, Yared. Welcome to the stream today. Engage in 3 houses, have quality of life, which shows enemy range before you move your characters. Man, I would love if they had that, honestly, in this game. The first map against Walhart was a nightmare on your first playthrough because how cavalry keeps running in. Yeah, so typically with the first map against Walhart, if you go back, it was a couple streams ago I showed off the strategy that I normally use. So typically what most people do is they try to set up some kind of like 1-turn or 2-turn kill where they just run up and kill Walhart right away and end the map. What I like to do is more of like a hybrid strategy. I usually fight against the army, excuse me, for about 4 turns. And then right before the reinforcements are going to spawn, right before the ambush spawns come out, then I send my best units forward and I take out Walhart and I end the map, so I don't have to deal with the ambush spawns. Because you can't really deal with the ambush spawns on that map. Unfortunately, it's just designed in a way where it's extremely difficult. I've done it one time on Lunatic mode. Like, I just grinded it out, and it's a massive pain. It takes forever, and it pretty much feels like at any moment, if one thing goes wrong, you could lose like an hour of your time having to reset it from the beginning. And on Lunatic Plus, I genuinely think it might not be technically impossible, but it's like trying to beat the Elite Four with a Magikarp. It's like statistically, like fundamentally, like, you know, it's like 1 in so many billion odds that it would take like 80 years of just resetting the map over and over again until you were able to do it, because you have to contend with the fact that every single enemy that comes out of those forts can have counter, they can have Luna Plus, they can have Hawkeye, and there's just no way to like set up a defensive formation that can handle every single configuration of enemy skills. Maybe with like a party that's extremely focused on like a very like one really strong unit, you can make a unit that's capable of fighting everything that comes out of those forts, and then just have that one character standing on the field. But other than that, I can't think of a way I would do it in team-based play. Your Noe has reached internal level 20, and she's only had 1 speed level up. Oh, that's brutal. Hello, Lavsy. Welcome to the stream. You literally lost Frederick to an ambush spawn counter reinforcement in Chapter 5 yesterday. Yeah, when ambush spawns come with counter, that's usually the worst thing. Because ambush spawns aren't that bad if you know they're coming and you can set up to face them. But on Lunatic Plus, because they can come out with counter, it kind of like ruins that whole thing. It makes it not really work. Okay, can I reach Robin from here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can. Okay, that's very important information. That means I can do this. I have a 5% crit that I have to worry about. Is that the end of the world? Fortunately, I have to get rid of this guy too. Where's Lonk? I just need Lonku to just like do everything. He's literally like the guy like you call to just do everything. Like anytime you need something to be done, you just call Lonku. If we have to reset one more time, I'm giving him a killer bow. This is crazy. Why does he not have one? Why does he not have a killer bow? It's insanity. It's because they're expensive. They're actually more expensive than silver weapons, which is honestly, I didn't really understand that before, but as my understanding of the game has increased, I now completely understand why killer weapons are more expensive than silver weapons. Okay, unfortunately I have to contend with a crit here, a crit chance here. I'm just gonna take it. I could use my own Ruin Tome. Is it worth it? I think so, yeah. Yeah, they're kind of expensive, but I can buy more now. This reduces the chance of her dying. Increases the chance of getting rid of the enemy. Okay, now we can pair up with Robin. And finally, all is right with the world. Our power couple is finally back together. Can she take these two if she has to? I think so, yeah. Let me count their damage. I'm pretty sure she can take them both, though. I have to be very careful, though, because something is reaching. Yeah, this guy here. I have to be very careful about that guy. Okay, so 69 plus 54, 1 with Luna. 69 plus 54, 123 minus 28 minus 9 minus 14 minus 4, 68 damage, plus she'll have Nosferatu healing. She's gonna be fine. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine. This guy doesn't have a ranged weapon either, yeah, so I get some free healing off him too. And this gets rid of a guy with counter. Beautiful. I can maybe heal her up a little bit more. We'll see about that. Okay, let me see where I want Basilio to stand. I honestly might leave Basilio on my team from now until the end of the game. He is really that good. He is really that. He's that guy as well. Him and Lonku are like just like it's. You know, I think it's God. I'm gonna sound really stupid. I'm completely drawing a blank on the name of the nation that they come from. It's not Ragnarfaro, is it? Or is that something else? Is that the name of the arena that they're from? What is the name of the country that they're from? Someone tell me. Basilio, Flavia, Lonku. Or Lonku's technically from another country, I think, but he hangs out in their country. Like all the characters that come from that setting, Olivia's is introduced through that nation as well. Hello Poochie Bear, welcome to the stream. Would I say this is the hardest post chapter 12 map? No, I don't think so. This map is actually not that hard. I was just kind of off my game last week. If you guys want to know what happened, I'll tell you. Okay, I have to start rescuing some characters now. This guy's a tomahawk user. If I can rescue Lonku and heal him, I can actually leave him to fight this guy on enemy phase. It's gonna be tough to do both though, because I have to get multiple rescues off. It's not impossible though. So I would rescue Lonku here. This gives Owain a chance to get some free experience. I'm gonna drop Henry. I'll move Chrom closer to her. And we already calculated, yeah, so if Basilio removes this guy, then he's already in safe territory. He doesn't need to worry about repositioning again after that. Can this pair get anything done this turn? Probably not. So I would go here. The big mistake that I made last time was that I moved Lucina and Cynthia super deep into enemy territory, and then I just like forgot about them. It was very stupid of me. So the problem is right now they're actually too far away from anything other than this guy who I'm already going to deal with on enemy phase. So there's no reason to risk them. So I'm just going to use her to rescue Olivia. Beautiful. Now watch that. Okay, I was just about to say, now watch that like open up a path for an enemy to move to a spot that I didn't count before. No. Okay. So Basilio, I can get Let me just make sure nothing else is targeting, right? We're totally fine, okay. So I want to move Noir over here. Technically, it might be better to have her rally, but it's fine. She can build some support with her mother. Should be able to take him out with one shot. Beautiful. Okay. We should be totally fine this enemy phase. Nice guard. Beautiful stuff. Okay. Nicely done. I love having our power couple back together. The game is so much easier now. Oh my god, look at this stuff. Look at this. I didn't even need Nosferatu. That's the crazy thing. I did not even need Nosferatu. Okay. This turn, there are going to be reinforcements, but they only come from these staircases. So we can use this turn to kind of like start to clear as much of the left-hand side as we want. Theoretically, we could possibly capture these stairs and block them, but I actually don't want to do that because I want the enemies to come out so I can fight them and get experience. Because it's only 3 extra enemies. Like, that's not going to make or break it. Hello, Zaku Trooper, number 48. Welcome to the stream. I've been watching, I've been rewatching Gundam Wing lately. I actually have a video. I haven't published an anime-related video in like 7 months, and I currently have a Gundam Wing video that's like maybe 40% done. But I'm gonna put it on hold because I have to finish my Three Houses video now because of the trailer for the new Fire Emblem game. I think this is a really good time to release a Three Houses video. Awakening, Claude says Awakening seems like the game you have to adapt on the fly because units are always way off from their average growth expectations, which you do like. Yeah, Awakening is really the game that's very much about adaptation. Like most other Fire Emblem games are more deterministic, which is good in ways, but and some people prefer that a lot more. But for me personally, I really like the dynamic difficulty of Awakening, and the way that the game changes. You always have to like adapt, you know, based on the current situation of what's happening on the field right now. I really, really like that. I really like that a lot more than deterministic difficulty, even if it means that sometimes you get screwed over by bad luck or whatever. Yeah, at the worst, Basilio is free rally strength. It is just Faro. Okay, so Ragna Faro must be the name of the arena. We're actually using Henry as a non-para bot. Technically, Henry is mostly just here to support Lisa. But yeah, we do use him a little bit from time to time. We got him up to level 5 already, which is like, some people never get Henry above level 1, so that's something. Yeah, the revenge is going well. The assassins spawning with move +1 can also mess things up. You just got here and you're extremely interested in Lunatic plus Iron Man. Welcome to the stream. Snow Warning, nice to see you today. Awakening has the highest average growth in the series. That might be true. Plus, you gain a lot of levels, too. So, like, over time, your stats will eventually regress to the mean. Because you gain so many levels, like, eventually you're going to hit whatever your average is. Total growths are below 300 in FE7, and they're above 400 in Awakening. Wow. Alright, let's start to look at how we're going to chip at this formation. If you've never been to one of these streams before, I think this is the kind of thing where you really want to pay attention to what I'm doing, because, in my opinion, this is like the most awesome and the most interesting thing about Fire Emblem Awakening, is what I'm about to do on this turn. We have all of our Gale Force users available, we have all of our Rescue Stabs available, there is no current pressure on the field. What we can do now is just basically jump out and just start like selectively removing enemies from the field. So I'm going to start here, because this guy cannot counter me, and I feel confident in my ability to remove him. So I'm going to run over here, and if I proc Aether, which is relatively likely, I'm going to get some free healing off of it, as I said. Next up, I'm going to look for guys with counter that I don't want to deal with on the following turns. This guy has counter, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to run over here. Okay, I cannot reach him. That's fine. I can use you for this. So I'm going to pair up Chrom with her. With Sumia. I'd actually kind of like her to get rid of this guy too, if I can. Maybe I leave this guy. No, I really need to get rid of this guy. And Long Q's too far out of position, right? Yeah, Long Q's over here, okay. I know how I want to do it. Let me just make sure, let me see how much movement I need. I have 10 movement. I need to get here. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. This means I don't have to waste a movement on a rescue staff on Olivia, because she's going to be dancing outside of the enemy range. So I'm going to have her run over here. We are going to get rid of this guy. We're going to use our Javelin because he has Pavis. If you look at this, he has Aegis, so he would cut the damage from my Tome in half. But if I use my Javelin, I'll get full damage. Now my damage is not particularly high, but I will be getting dual strikes from Chrom. This might even be worth using the Brave Bow on. I can get around 50 damage if I land a single dual strike with Chrom. It'll be a little bit less than 50, so let's see. If we do 18 plus 50, that would be 86. That would actually get the kill. But I'm going to do less damage than I think I am. I think this is worth grabbing a short spear out of the convoy too. I should have one, right? Yeah, I save these things for this exact reason. When I get into this situation when I just need a little bit of extra damage, this should guarantee the kill. And then if he gets any dual strike, he hits twice because he has the Brave Bow equipped. Those 2 hits allowed us to get rid of the enemy. Now we've kind of removed everything that has counter and everything that's necessarily a big problem for me. Now what I'm going to do is just look at anything that could potentially cause problems over the next few turns. Or what I'll try to do is remove all enemies. Like if I can remove all 3 of these enemies, I will have pretty safe territory to stand. So what about these 4? If I remove all 4 of these enemies, I'll have a lot of safe territory to stand up here for setting up enemy phases next turn. So maybe we should do it that way. How many rescue stabs are we going to have? We'd have to split these 2 up, but we can do that with Henry. This is another really good thing you can do with Henry. If he's unpaired, he can grab somebody and then use that character, which is what we're going to do in a second here. So we have 3 rescue stabs available. Saria does not need to be rescued either. Is this guy, Tomahawk, the only guy who reaches that tile? He is, okay. So what if... I want to get rid of him on it. I want to get rid of him on player phase. These 2 have only triggered Gale Force once, right? If that's the case, they should get rid of this guy right now. Unfortunately, he's got a pretty bad setup for them to fight. 3% crit chance. Am I willing to take that? How much does the Silver Lance do? 43 minus 8. Uh, 35 damage plus 13 plus 13 is 61. I actually don't get the kill because of Aegis. I could maybe do it with the Innisbow. With the Innisbow I can do it, okay. I just need 1 dual strike here. Or a crit, or an Aegis proc. Again, there's just so many chances for things to go right. Okay, and then we get a second Gale Force proc. Now we can use them to get rid of one of these guys. I think if this Ruin crits, we probably... Oh, he also has 100% accuracy. I do not like that at all. And he has Vengeance. Yeah, this guy's a little tricky. I can actually use Chrom to get rid of him. That might be the play. Because there's not any character that I want to fight him, really. There you go. Okay, I'm going to have Owain grab this pair. I'm not worried about him. Let me check their total damage, though. 69 plus 54. He has Tomebreaker. And one of them had Luna, right? The physical one, too. Okay. So we're going to take 123 minus 20 minus 14, minus 4. We're going to take 85 damage. We need Nosferatu here. I don't like the fact that this guy has Aegis Plus, but I just have to live with it. Okay. That could have been a lot more dicey than it ended up being. Now, theoretically, this pair can move up here, or we can even potentially have Basilio get rid of this guy. My god, look at this man. He survives, too. The problem is he's actually not quite guaranteed to get the kill. These two are more likely to pick up the kill, unfortunately, so we have to let Basilio hold off. Yeah, this is a better way to approach it. In fact, I would like to have her in the lead if she can survive the hit, which she can. Okay, that's fine. I wanted to try and fish for an Aether proc to get some free healing. I didn't get it, but then even if she failed to kill him, it would have been okay because then she could have just enemy faced him anyway. Or we could have just used one of our additional rescue stabs. So we had a lot of options there. What does this guy have? A Silver Lance. Unfortunately, Noe cannot fight him as is. Okay, so let me take stock of my remaining rescue stabs. I want to rescue you and you. We have enough for that. At bare minimum, we have enough for that. I'd love for a dual strike here. I got it. 2 is even better. Okay, what does he have? A Tomahawk? I'm fine just letting Saria fight him. But I could bait him into fighting Lon'qu as well. Can Lon'qu survive? That's questionable. 19. That's 8. 13. 69 minus 13. Actually, this guy one-shots Lon'qu, so we gotta get him out of there. Which is fine, we were gonna do so anyway. Okay, let me make sure Henry can reach them. So we're gonna do this. And then we actually no longer need an additional rescue staff, but what we're going to do is we're going to have Henry grab Lisa anyway, so that she can use a physics staff and heal Cynthia back up, because she didn't get that Aether proc that we wanted. And if this enemy had survived here, if this sorcerer had survived, that heal would have also kept Cynthia alive too, if he decided to enemy phase her. Okay, is there anyone else that we can set up for an enemy phase action? It's tricky because the Ruin Tome is gonna kill anybody if it crits. And he has Hawkeye as well. So we're not gonna be able to fight him. He's a character that we really need to get rid of on player phase. Alright, let's just rally skill for your mother. And separate these two. Alright, is there anyone else I want to separate? I don't think so. Okay, those are the first reinforcements. Nice guard. Yeah, a lot of times you don't even end up needing the Nosferatu Tome, but you have to equip it like for safety reasons, unless you want to gamble. Okay, so now we have to be a little bit more careful. So here's what we have left to fight in order to clear this map. Every enemy that you see, plus 6 enemies from these staircases, and then another 6 enemies from the same 6 staircases. The only thing I'm not sure about, well, actually, I'm actually pretty sure enemy reinforcements spawn at the start of the turn. And for that reason, I actually think these two guys are actually blocking their own allies from spawning. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm like 90% sure there will not be any reinforcements coming from these stairs. because these enemies are blocking these staircases on this turn. Now, do we actually want that? Let me check. I actually don't have the reinforcement order open right now. I don't think anything that spawns here has items that we care about. Like, I don't think any of the reinforcements spawn with items that they drop. I think that's only in chapter 10. Or at least that's the main one that I think about. Reinforcements do not have any... Oh no, hold on. One of them has a silver axe. One of the reinforcements actually spawns with a talisman, and one spawns with a silver axe. No, that's Validar. But one of them does spawn with a silver axe that he drops. It is a berserker. I am not going to check every... Well, maybe I am. I'll check every berserker on the map and see if he spawned already, but I don't think he has. He hasn't, okay. Okay, let me check. Eastern Stairs, berserker with a silver axe. It's actually very likely that the guy that I want actually spawns from this tile right here. So I would have to get rid of this guy if I want to get my free silver axe next turn. Chapter 11 has important items for the reinforcements too. Yeah, you might be right. For some reason, Chapter 10 is just like the one that always comes to my mind. Alright, we have to think about what we're going to do about this Ruin Tome. I think Sumia can take him. He doesn't have Luna. She should be able to just survive a crit. Yeah, she just straight up survives the crit. The only problem is she's actually not that likely to kill him. Oh, God. The sorcerers in this game are so tanky. Alright, let's just do Brave Bow again. This is why we bought it. Nicely done. Okay. I am not sending my units all the way over here just to get rid of this guy, just to get a free silver axe. It's not even worth that much. This guy here we definitely want to get rid of at some point. It's not necessarily certain exactly who we're going to use to do that, but we do want to get rid of him. This guy... We don't necessarily need to kill him, because we're not that worried about triggering Gale Force again. But by chipping him down, we can potentially set up a kill for someone else. Possibly even another Gale Force user. We do want to get rid of him, and we're going to have to use a rescue staff to do it. I mean, we don't have to, but it's very likely. Let's identify enemies with counter. I'm actually going to deselect them in a weird way, because I want all of the enemy ranges to be visible, but I want the guys with counter to stand out. So I'm going to deselect the enemies with counter, so that I notice them. There's actually a lot of enemies with counter. The ones in front don't have it, though. Which somewhat works to my advantage. This guy's a little bit difficult. He has overlapping range with this guy, so we need to remove one of these two. You should be much easier to get rid of, so I'm going to start with that. We want to use a bow for this, because he has Pavis. Now we want to pick someone with counter that we can hopefully remove. In fact, it's actually better to do this. This is a guaranteed. It's actually not, because he has Pavis as well. I was going to say this is a guaranteed Gale Force proc because we can kill this guy, but because he has Pavis, it's actually not guaranteed. I mean, it's still pretty likely, though. Yeah, especially with Aether on the table. Okay. Now we got our guaranteed Gale Force proc out of the way. Now we can use some kind of action to like bounce over, kill one of these guys, and then use a rescue staff. realistically, this is probably the best one to get rid of because he has the most forward movement already. We can either remove or weaken this guy. There you go. Okay, we're gonna have to rescue her. That's one rescue staff that's accounted for. If we get rid of him from this position, what threatens us? It would be these 5 enemies. That's kind of a lot of pressure. Especially because this guy has counter. Okay, we can't do it. This feels like it's going to be a hit and run turn. I don't think we're going to be able to set up much in the way of enemy phasing. And the enemies are already extending pretty far over as well. It's not as hopeless as it looks. It just means the next couple turns are going to be a little wonky. The annoying part is that this guy right here is actually not really that dangerous. Like, he's really not that dangerous. I mean, honestly, if I think about it that way, if I think, like, okay, this guy's not really that dangerous, what if we just set up an enemy phase against him? And then move all of our other remaining characters out of that range. I have to use 3 rescue stabs, that's the tricky part. And Wayne's range is not that fantastic. Can he rescue anyone who's already acted? He can rescue Sumia. Okay, and the visible range is the actual range. So if we pull Sumia back... technically I have 4 rescues because I have Olivia in the back row still. Hello, Neff Champion. Welcome to the stream. Good morning. Rally Defense boosted Sorcerer. Oh yeah, someone in this group probably has Rally Defense. The generals have it. Not all of them, but some of them can have it. Yeah, and they do use it. And if enemies spawn with Rally, they always use it every turn. There is no reinforcement drop in Chapter 11. Oh, I am thinking of okay, so in Chapter 10. So yeah, we were both talking about the same chapter. I just thought it was Chapter 10, but it's actually Chapter 11. The Silver Axe is on the Berserker who spawns on the left side. Well, that's great, because that means we will get it on the next turn. Yeah, it is Chapter 11 that has the important items. Okay, that's good to know. Alright. Yeah, if we're going to be doing rescues anyway, we have to rescue you for sure. So let's do that. Yeah, let me make sure there's nothing that's going to come up this path. Nope. The visible range on that guy is his actual range. There's nothing to worry about. I don't have to be too paranoid. Pull Cynthia back. Now we do need... Here's a good question. Yeah, no, we already calculated. If we hit this guy, we have to fight all 5 of these guys on enemy phase. If we could survive it, honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But because this guy is counter, it's just not worth the hassle of trying to set up a way to survive that. It's better to just get some damage on this guy, and then honestly, even if we don't kill him, it's actually not the end of the world. Because then we could just give the kill to a Gale Force attacker next turn. Yeah, because we're going to be rescuing anyway. We could actually set up an enemy phase against him, though. That's even smarter. So we put you here, you here. Make sure I can actually do it. You cannot. You cannot. Well, with Noir in the lead, I get 2 chances to dual strike. So I'll do it that way. Now we do have to rescue Saria back to the left-hand side of the map. I should be able to reach her from here. Yes, I can. Perfect. Now I'm a little worried about what's going to come out of these staircases, but I don't think they should be able to reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Unless something spawns with +1 move and it also has a 2-range weapon. But even in that case, the only character it could reach is Saria, and she can take whatever they can do anyway, so I don't think that's a problem. Alright, we're going to set up an enemy phase against this guy. We need Basilio to get out of the way. I'm actually going to pair him up with Flavia for a very specific reason. I'm going to put Lonk here. Silver Bow. Silver Axe. I wanted to give her a regular lance too, not the Beast Killer, but I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, so you're going to go... Unfortunately, I can't rally strength for both of them. In that case, it's actually better to rally strength for you. No, if I had kept Severa in the lead, I could have rallied strength for her so that she could get the kill. Well, if I rally strength for her, it'll increase her damage from 4 + 4 to 8 + 8, which is 16, which actually does get the kill, so yeah, never mind. No, because it's going to be cut in half. Even the rally strength does get cut in half. So it will increase to 6 + 6, which is 12, which still doesn't get the kill. So yeah, we're just going to rally for Lonku then. Okay. And you are going to dance for... Honestly, it doesn't matter, but... probably this is the smartest. Because you can go back here and heal Basilio. Okay, I think this is fine. Nobody's threatened this turn, even by reinforcements. And we do get a little bit of enemy phase work done. Not as much as I would have liked, but we get a little bit done. Yeah, the 2 chances to dual strike give us the ability to set up a kill there, which we got. Okay, now this turn we have to be a little bit more proactive. We have to get rid of something from this cluster of enemies so that we're not getting overwhelmed. And we have to be aware of the fact that there are more reinforcements spawning from these stairs on the next turn. Yeah, I was right. So look, you can see the enemies that spawn this turn are the ones that are not highlighted. On this side, 3 enemies spawned, which makes sense because they came from these 3 staircases. But on this side, only 1 enemy spawned. And the reason is because these 2 staircases were blocked, so nothing spawned from them. Otherwise, you would see 2 enemies up here, and they're just not here. Okay, anyway, the enemies are covering most of the map. Surprisingly, we still actually have some territory where we can safely stand. However, we want to carve out some more safe space, so we're gonna do our best to accomplish that. This guy's got to go. This guy's got to go. In fact, if Sumia can get over there, she needs to get rid of him with the highest priority. Or at the very least... Okay, so I'm going to have her get a guaranteed kill first, and then chip that guy down. And then, I guess we can kind of use this information. We know that whatever comes from okay, unfortunately it's going to be an assassin, which means he's going to have a bow. I was going to say, we know what's going to... If we know exactly like where this guy can move, then we can also set someone up to enemy face him, but it's going to be an assassin, which means he's going to have a bow. Let me see if Saria can take this. 24 times 3. 72, she cannot take the hit. And it's actually pretty likely to kill her. It's 21% likely to kill her. That's not worth taking that chance. I could use a ward staff, I could rally res, something like that. But it's just not worth it. It's better to just use... Okay, so let me give her a guaranteed kill first. Then we're going to give her the sorcerer either kill or weaken. Oh, you know what? I can attack from here to boost my crit rate. I'm gonna have to use another Brave Bow here. crits are likely, but they're not guaranteed, and I need to fish for as many crits as possible. There you go. Now, after we kill this guy, we're gonna have to move again, because the guy who comes out of here is gonna be an assassin, which means he's gonna have a bow, which means he will kill Sumia if we leave her in range. And she's the only character who can fight this guy safely. Yeah. We could use Olivia, but it doesn't actually fix the problem because the assassin can actually spawn with +1 move, which means he could actually move 1 square further than the sorcerer, which means he could potentially kill Olivia if he spawns with move +1. So it's better to just use Brady for this. Or sorry, Owain. I'm using Owain for the role that I normally use Brady for, so I keep calling him Brady. That's fine, though. We already carved up a ton of free territory. And this actually leaves Cynthia and Lucina free on the right side to do a ton more work. This guy we really want to... honestly, this is the kind of guy I'd like to enemy phase if possible. He doesn't overlap with anyone else. He does have a little bit of a scary crit chance, but it's not as bad as it looks, I don't think. No, he can't even crit Saria. Yeah. Honestly, we could very much leave her right here. And then just start chipping away at the back row with my Gale Force attackers. Lucina should be able to kill this guy. Wonderfully done. Last week's stream was rough. Last week, Millie was really sick, and I was taking care of her on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday. So I was pretty tired on Saturday. And there was a guy who lives, or he doesn't live there, but someone parked like not down the street, but it was like, honestly, it was like right on the other side of the street from my apartment at 3:30 in the morning, and started honking his horn really loud too. So that was also really annoying. That was on the day when I had to stream later that same day, like after what happened that morning. Ekularg, real talk, I love watching you, but I can't seem to get past Lunatic early game to enjoy this level of awakening. But you had 3 runs of hard mode under your belt. Yeah, so the thing about Lunatic is there's like a buy-in cost. Like you have to invest, like, you know, the amount of time is going to vary depending on the person. But let's say, like, let's just give a rough estimate of like 10 hours. You have to invest like 10 hours into like just getting past the early game, especially your first time. But after you do that, it really sets you up. Like by the time you spent those 10 hours kind of learning the Lunatic level mechanics and getting familiar with like how to play the game on this level, once you get to that point, you're pretty much set to handle the rest of the game, especially on Lunatic mode. Lunatic mode doesn't really get much harder over time. Lunatic Plus gets really hard as you go on. Lunatic mode, like once you get past those first 5 chapters, not only will you be capable of playing through the rest of the game, but you will also be able, like if you start over again, you'll get through the first 5 chapters like much faster and with much less trouble, and you'll be like, wow, like how did I ever struggle with this? And that's just kind of the way it goes. Alright, I'd like to identify other enemies with counter, especially ones that I can actually remove, like potentially this guy. Perfect. Now, because of the way things panned out, we might be able to set up an enemy phase on the right-hand side. But unfortunately, it looks like this guy overlaps. Yeah, this guy overlaps, so we're not going to be able to do that. We might be able to isolate just the Rex Caliber by himself. No, because he overlaps with the Tomahawk. Yeah, all these guys right here have overlapping ranges. Let me see if I can do something with the rescue staff. It would involve Lonku. He can't get as far as I need him to go. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay, that's fine. It honestly just means we get to save some rescue staves. Let me send these two over here. You're gonna go over here. You're gonna heal her for next turn. I want to do something with Long Ku, but I'm a little bit scared, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Why does she not have another staff? I'm not sure about that. Where's Owain? He doesn't have a staff ready either. I don't know why she doesn't have a better staff than, like, just one physics staff. I'm trying to figure that out. And I have no idea why. Okay, I'll just use Libra. Fine. Okay, now I want to dance for you. Okay, let me count this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's actually parallel to this right here. If this guy spawns with move +1, Long Ku will enemy phase him. If he does not spawn with move +1, then he'll just not be able to reach us. The reason why I don't want to move him one tile forward is because then, if the guy does spawn with move +1, he'll run up, he'll just hit Long Ku with a sword, which doesn't really solve the problem that I'm trying to solve. You're gonna stay right here. We're gonna rally magic for you. And then Basilio is just gonna move back up here. Is this fine? Yeah. It's kind of cool how he spawns with the stats that he needs to fight the enemies on his join chapter too, just like Libra. Nice dodge. I'd like a dual strike, please. Thank you very much. Okay. Now there are no more enemies. There are no more ambush spawns on this map. All we have to do is kill every remaining enemy that we see, and we will be completely fine. And the reason why I moved this group over here was to bait all of these enemies into moving towards the corner. Now this turn, we can remove enemies and then use our rescue staves, which is something that we were going to do anyway this turn. And when we rescue them over to the left-hand side, all of the space on the left-hand side is going to be safe. So we're going to start by clearing out everything on the left-hand side so that we make the left side. We're gonna free up all of this territory. That's the first thing that we're going to do. So in order to accomplish that, we have to get rid of these guys here. We could potentially even get away with not using a rescue staff if we do something like this. So you start here. We need a Gale Force proc. We need like an Aether proc to get Gale Force or a crit or a dual strike. You know the drill. I'm not going to keep saying it over and over again. It happens. We got to the point with our Lucina where it happens basically every turn. She needs either a crit, an Aether, a dual strike, or something, but she pretty much always gets them because it's just statistically very unlikely that she wouldn't get one. Okay, so this should allow us to do this kill here. Now we don't need to use a rescue staff for that pair. And in fact, they can also help us with clearing out enemies here. I will save that for something else. I'm gonna wait. Henry should be able to pick up a kill here. Well, he does deny me one rescue staff, but I don't think I need 4 this turn. I probably... Oh, sorry, wrong guy. Unfortunately, he has Vantage Plus. I was gonna give this kill to Henry, but he can't do it with Vantage Plus on the table. Okay. Yeah, oh well. In that case, the best person to do is probably Robin, right? Because he can't be hit by an axe. And then we can dance for them and potentially set up an enemy phase with Saria or Robin. What does he have? Tomahawk. Okay, I'm gonna set up Sumia to enemy phase that guy. It doesn't matter if we Gale Force here or not. Let me make sure I can survive his attack. 57. Minus 27 is 30 damage. Yeah, we survive. Okay. So it doesn't matter if we proc Gale Force here or not. Because we're going to be ending our turn in this position anyway. How can Henry kill him? Yes, he can, if he can hit. No, sorry, I need to be able to deal at least 32 damage. God, come on, man. This guy over here had exactly Vantage Plus, which made it impossible for Henry to fight him. This guy here over here has exactly Aegis Plus, which makes it impossible for Henry to fight him. It's so annoying when they have this. They just have, like, every single thing that they need. It's fine. And Basilio can't reach. Perfect. Okay, what about a Wayne? Not even close. Alright, we'll give it to Lisa then. Long Ku goes here. He doesn't have Axe Breaker, so I should be able to get him with a Dual Strike or a crit. Or Lethality would have worked too. He's not as reliable as the ones with Aether, but he's pretty reliable. Because Lethality doesn't proc as often as Aether does, obviously. Okay, now this Tomahawk is something that we're going to get rid of on enemy phase. So let me think about next turn. Next turn, this guy's going to be the most annoying. So let me start chipping away at him. In fact, does he have Axe Breaker? No, okay. So I should be able to fish for 2 Killer Bow crits. Didn't get it. Man, she attacked with the Killer Bow 4 times this chapter. She did not get a single crit. It is what it is, but it is frustrating. Okay, we can rescue them back over with our Gale Force team. Now we're going to check to see how much Saria can actually take. Although I'm a little bit scared because of the yeah, okay, never mind. These guys have overlapping ranges anyway. Let's just get rid of the Tomahawk this turn. Technically, we can have Robin do it. It might even be better. Yeah, let's have Robin do it. Because we actually have not been training Robin. We can also rally strength for him. And rally luck for him. Technically, we could rally res, but it wouldn't do anything. Okay, we should be fine this turn. I don't foresee anything going wrong. I don't think that guard was necessary. Nice. Snow warning, you can hear the biker in the background. He can finally afford a car. Oh, you think it's the same guy? No, it wasn't. I think it's somebody who actually doesn't live around here. I don't know what they were doing, but who knows? Hello, Raphaelize. How does Robin's crit avoid aura skill work when he's in the back? It works, yeah. In this game, aura skills work with the characters in the back. You can get the powers of Hex, Anathema, Demoiselle, Dual Support Plus, Solidarity, and Charm, even when the character is rotated into the back row. It's the reason why Robin makes such a good support character, and the reason why we're actually using Saria in the lead most of the time, and Robin in the rear position most of the time, is because with the speed and defense bonus from Robin, and her she basically just makes a better Dark Mage than Robin does, because she's also getting the plus 10 crit and crit avoid, whereas Robin doesn't give plus 10 crit and plus 10 crit avoid to himself. He only gives it to his partner, so it's actually better to use Robin as a support unit if you can. And in this case, we found a team composition where that works perfectly for us. Okay, so all we have to do now is clean up these remaining enemies, and we should be completely fine. I'd like to do it without using any more rescue stabs, just to save a little bit of money. We have one more ruin to worry about. This one's going to be tricky to remove, too, because he has Luna Plus, yeah. We have to use the longbow here. In fact, let's just ignore this guy for one turn. We'll get rid of him next turn, but we're going to have to use the longbow when we fight him. Okay. Yeah, let's not use any rescue staffs this turn, because we don't really have to. We can take 30 damage. Or not. We don't even have to. Then we're going to... I'd like to go... I don't feel confident in my ability to remove this guy because of Aegis. Alright, let's just do this then. +18 is 36. Yeah, we kill no matter what here. I just want to go for guaranteed kills this turn and just not use any rescue stabs. So I'm going to run back over here. And this is not worth a recover staff. Hold on a second. You stand right here. That's fine. Unfortunately, we cannot even enemy phase this guy because of the power of Luna. With this Ruin Tome, a crit will kill. If he procs Luna and a crit, he will kill anybody in one hit. No question about that. This guy, Robin or Saria, should be able to fight him. I will use Robin again, just because we can continue showing off the power of Basilio. In fact, we can stand right next to him. Rally strength. I'm gonna put Long Q down here. I'd like to rally skill for Robin if I can, but I can't do that from a safe position, so I'm not going to. I'm just gonna go like this. Okay, who's left? I guess technically I could have moved somewhere and then danced with Olivia, but it's fine. I'm just gonna go here and then dance. Just oh, in fact, she can't even get any more experience, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, we're gonna start moving towards the left side of the map and just setting up over here while sandbagging for one turn. And technically not sandbagging because we're doing one enemy phase combat. Okay. Now these two can run up here and finish off this guy, pick up this kill. Now this guy is going to be a problem. My options are either Longbow or Long Q. What are his chances of dodging if he's on the pillar? Not that great. What about with his support partner? I'm pretty sure we can boost his evade by a lot. So first of all, let's just do this because we would be doing this anyway. Okay, so we can get him down to 28 hit, plus the power of Charm, which should be 10. Oh, 5, sorry. We could get him down to 23 hit. I don't necessarily feel like risking that. I'm just going to use this pair. I guess before that, let me... oh, I messed that up. I messed that up big time. I should have paired him into Sumia, not the other way around. That's fine. We'll just use the longbow. It's fine. Yeah, that could have gone so much better. I definitely misplayed there. What I should have done was paired Chrom into Sumia. I could have had Sumia run up here, kill something, proc Gale Force, and then come back down and then use my longbow. But I don't know. I'll be fine. It's not the end of the world. Once again, I don't really need to use a rescue staff this turn, so I'd rather not if I don't have to, which I don't have to. So let me set up a combat here. Against this guy with Axe Breaker, he's almost probably cannot hit me. Oh, never mind, he has something. What does he have? Why does he have a 100% hit rate? Oh, never mind, he has a 27% hit rate, okay. I was wondering why his hit rate was so much higher than I expected. So yeah, if I switch to the sword, his hit rate tanks, absolutely. I mean, he could still technically hit me. And with Luna Plus, he's going to deal a decent amount of damage. I should be able to get a heal onto Robin, though, right? Go here. Rally Strength. Gotta be very careful. 5, 6, okay. Dance. Move here. Silver Sword. Flux Tome. It's fine. We're gonna heal you. No. Where's Owain? Owain's gonna heal you. You are going to rally luck. You're gonna rally skill for your father. These two we're gonna run away. By the way, Lucina, I'm pretty sure she supports with Basilio. If you didn't know. Okay, this should be fine. This is just basically like we could have cleared these enemies faster, but it would have involved using risky attacks and or rescue stabs. Instead, when I prefer to just like go slow and safe and guarantee my kills. Okay, we can definitely set up a kill here. We can probably give this one to Basilio. Phenomenal. The amount of critical hits this map has been really nice. Yeah, so once you get into late game, if you know how to team build properly, like if you follow my team building guide, by the time you get into like the late game or even the mid game of Awakening, like you will be getting nearly guaranteed crits on your best attackers. Like you can pretty much guarantee that you're just going to be getting crits, dual strikes, offensive procs, like something like every single action, every single turn, as we've seen with our Lucina. Where is she? With our Lucina and Cynthia pairing, like they have not failed to get either a crit, a dual strike, or an Aether proc every single turn. Same with Chrom and Sumia. Like they can just remove whatever I need them to remove. I could dance for Basilio and have him attack again. That would be funny. Henry could actually fight. I mean, I don't really need him to fight anymore, that's the thing. It's kind of sad, especially because I just released a Henry video today about how great he is, but I really honestly don't need him to do anything else for the rest of the playthrough. Because he's going to be replaced by Owain. Although technically Owain doesn't have Hex or Anathema. But still. Like, it's honestly more important for me to train Owain than it is for me to train Henry at this point. I mean, technically I could do this. I love pointless vengeance procs. Alright. Or like this, for example, like I don't need to, like if I use the hammer charges, I could guarantee this kill, but I don't need to waste hammer charges anymore. There's not really any rush. Oh, also, I need to make sure this guy doesn't kill me, though. No, he does not. Ooh, lethality proc, nice. Let's get some lethalities in the chat. Which I actually still don't have the emote for. Because I need more members. Sorry, no lethality emotes in the chat until I get 5 more members. We'll do Miracle. You think Basilio only supports with Flavia, Robin, and his child, and he can't actually marry Flavia. Oh, they can't get enough support. Oh, that's too bad. So yeah, he's one of the characters who basically just like only marries Robin and then has like a few other miscellaneous supports. Am I going to one-turn all of the maps after chapter 24? No. I usually don't do one-turn clears. Unless there's like some reason why I need to, but typically there's almost never a reason to do that. Even if I'm going to like low turn clear a map, like even if I'm going to finish a map with a boss kill, I usually try to get as much out of the map as I can before I kill the boss. Anyway, let's check this guy down a little bit more. I'd like to get him low enough where Robin can one-shot him with the hammer. I don't know how close we are to that. Do I even have a hammer? Yeah, I do. I can deal 32, so I need to deal a little bit more chip. Only problem now is that if anybody else attacks him, they're very likely to just kill him. I could use Basilio. No, I'm actually very likely to kill him. It's not a guarantee, though. Okay, cool. Now Robin can one-shot this guy, so we don't take any counter damage. Look at that, Basilio. Putting in the work. Honestly, Basilio is so good. Just rallying for no reason. Alright, and now this turn we can kind of just give this kill and give this experience to whoever we want. Tricky, you say it's because I'm so close to endgame, gaining extra experience isn't doing very much. Well, not really, because after we get to the end, I'm going to go through I'm going to use this map, I'm going to continue, I'm going to go through all the DLC files, and I'm also going to try to beat Apotheosis without grinding, so getting as much experience, even out of like the last couple chapters, is going to be very important, because it's going to set me up for being able to clear all of the difficult post-game maps. There's a bunch of really difficult post-game maps, as well as Apotheosis, Future Past, DLC, the Spot Pass maps, all that stuff. So having as much power as possible going into those maps is going to be important. Okay. I see a Wayne. Potentially getting some damage here. Is it worth using this Flux Tome? Probably. Nice. Remember that Henry is boosting his crit rate, so you could say that Henry contributed to that kill. Although honestly, it probably would have been better to get chip experience and then get the kill on the next attack, but yeah. Shiny spots. Who would we give shiny spots to? Honestly, probably Robin makes the most sense. Because Robin's internal level is very high. Yeah, getting that 28 experience right there is actually kind of clutch. Alright, now we're going to start slowly crawling across the map. Where's the other shiny spot on this map, by the way? Isn't it like up here somewhere? No. What is it, down here somewhere? No. Oh, it's right here. It's on the other staircase. Don't do that. I don't like how stabs are the default option when you hover over an ally character. I wish it did not work that way. I wish pair up was the default option. But oh well. Should be able to give one more shiny spot to Robin. Potential more free experience. Yeah, because Robin's internal level is very high. It's kind of the same logic that you use for Frederick at the start of the game, with Frederick being a promoted character, and everyone else being like unpromoted, everyone else being in a base class. Frederick getting experience from the shiny spots is worth a lot more because he gets less experience from killing enemies. So later in the game, once you start having characters who have, you know, gone through multiple second seal lines, which like my Robin has, my Robin's internal level is pretty high, it's pretty close to the max. So whenever they get experience from a shiny spot, it's actually worth a lot because it's tough for them to get experience from combat anymore. And we got more free experience, so that's fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted. Alright, let's consider what we're going to do about Validar. He does not scare me at all. It's mostly just a question of who do I want to give the experience to? Who do I want to give the kill to? Honestly, Long Q would be a good option, or at least let Long Q fight him 1 or 2 times to cap his level. Only problem is if we proc lethality, we kill him in 1 hit, and then we waste a little bit of experience. So maybe what we should do is we should fight him with someone else, and then once... Oh, never mind, he can't be killed with lethality because he has Dragon Skin. So yeah, we'll just use Long Q. By the way, I heard someone say that Dragon Skin actually shows up in the combat forecast. And I think that's probably true, but we can actually map that out. So we should be dealing 54 minus 34 damage. So we should be dealing 20 damage, but this is going to tell us that we're only dealing 10. Yeah, so Dragon Skin does appear on the combat forecast, which I really like. With Grima's Truth, he actually deals enough damage to one-shot Long Q, but that only considers the fact that, you know, we have, like, if we had no tools at all, which is not how this game works. We have a lot of tools. Well, while I'm doing the Iron Man, am I going to do one-turn strats on the late game? Yeah, I'll probably use more one-turn strats on the Iron Man run, especially as we get into the late game. But for the final chapter, I don't feel like you have to one-turn that chapter. It's actually easier. It's actually easier to clear that chapter in 2 turns than 1 turn. So like sometimes like people they would just 1 turn just to show off. Like you can often do a map in 2 or 3 turns, and that gives you more time to set up to make the boss kill more consistent, as opposed to the 1 turn clear, which requires you to extend a lot more. And then if you fail to get the kill, you've already overextended and you just get a game over, which I would not want to do. I would rather take a 2-turn kill that has a higher chance of success. Dragon Skin does affect dual strikes. Yeah, we figured that out from the last stream as well. Awakening is a very unpopular game if you base that idea in the fact that most people just 1-turn clear with Gale Force, because that was the common wisdom at the time, skipping 30% of the game. Yeah, I don't like how people they play Awakening in a way that's very boring, and they skip like half of the game, and then they say that the game sucks. And it's like, that's your own fault for skipping half of the game and playing in a way that's very boring. You could make the argument that it's a flaw of the game, that it allows you to play the game that way, which I guess is fair. But either way. I don't know if I have a 0% crit chance, or... if he's just impossible to crit. Let me give this guy a killer bow. Why does he not have one, by the way? He should have had one for a long time. Where is my killer bow? I think it's because I only have like 1, maybe. But I will show you the power of Rally Strength against bosses with Dragon Skin. I think it's kind of interesting that Basilio is introduced on a chapter where the boss has Dragon Skin, because it kind of gets you thinking about how you can use Rally Strength as a player on Dragon Skin, and then you can do that ideally against the final boss. Alright, let me go into the convoy. I think I don't have any killer bows. Yeah, I don't have any killer bows. That's the problem. I literally don't have any. Yeah, so that's a little bit of an issue. But if I Rally Strength here, you'll see that my damage goes up. My crit chance went up too. I'm not sure why that happened. I guess because I'm standing next to Robin. So yes, I can land critical hits, which is important. Although Dragon Skin also cuts the damage of crits, like additionally. Like on top of the damage cut, it also cuts damage from crits, so they're not as impactful against enemies with Dragon Skin. But either way, so in this situation, we added 2 points of damage, times 2, which is 4 damage. But the thing is, let's say theoretically we gave the Brave Bow to Lonku, then we would be adding 8 damage. And then like say Noe had a Brave Axe, then we'd be adding another 8 damage. So it's actually plus 16 damage, even though Rally Strength only gives plus 4, it's actually plus 16. So that's kind of interesting, or kind of fun. I should be able to use Lisa. Yeah, that increases my crit chance even more, and it makes him capable of surviving. The problem is, because of Vengeance, we basically have to enemy phase. And then we also had to set things up in such a way that we never kind of allow ourselves to be killed by vengeance. By the way, doesn't her special dance give plus strength as well? Yeah, it does. Okay. So I think the problem with using Long Ku here is that the enemy will, on the next turn, he's going to be alive. He's going to have a lot of health left over next turn, and I have to make sure that I can actually kill him. Which is actually not that likely, because all of my characters have their damage cut. This vengeance is extremely scary. I could longbow him if I absolutely have to. Let me give the brave bow to Long Ku. Since I don't have a killer bow, the brave bow is by far the best option. He should be able to use it, right? Yeah, he can use it. So we would go like this. We would dance for him. We would rally strength for him. We would stand up here. Go like this. So we're adding additional damage. Of course, yeah, the rally damage gets cut in half too, obviously. I think I have to turn animations on for this. Where's Long Ku? On. I have to make sure that I rally resistance. I could also technically use a ward staff too. Where's Owain? Get over here. Yeah, I have A-rank stabs. How in the world do I have A-rank stabs already? No, seriously, how do I have A-rank stabs already? Owain, well, I guess because I staff grinded him. I did staff abuse in one of the previous chapters. That is crazy. Oh, I sold on my ward stabs because they're useless, but in this situation they actually would be useful. Oh well, it's fine. I forgot to equip the brave bow though, so let me do that while I'm here. I could also rally his speed. That's going to increase his chance of dodging, which he actually can't do, though. But I could rally his skill, I could rally his luck. That's going to increase his crit chance. I can't dodge because this guy has Hawkeye. Alright. Let's see what happens. We should be fine here. I don't think there's any chance of anything going wrong here. So we're going to get 4 chances to land dual strikes because of the brave bow, on top of, 4 times our damage. He did proc Vengeance, but it doesn't matter because he's at full HP. Yeah, her damage is definitely being cut in half too. Awesome. And we got the crit. Oh my god, what a cinematic crit. Okay, so the crits actually still triple my damage. So Dragon Skin does not reduce the damage from crits. The wiki is a liar. The wiki absolutely lied about that. We definitely got triple damage there. We dealt 33 damage. So that means crit builds are extremely strong in Apotheosis, because your damage is still getting tripled against Dragon Skin. And that gets us just enough damage to cap our level, which means we can use a seal without wasting any experience, other than a little bit of rollover that we would have gotten there. That was a really cinematic kill. Grimace Truth is weaker than it sounds. Yeah, it doesn't have any healing effects or anything like that. Dragon Skins, halves, crits, and fates, not awakening. Yeah, so the thing is, a lot of times on the wiki, they just use the description for fates and they say that it works the same way in awakening, which it actually doesn't. There's some cases where they do that. They just don't bother to check, or they just don't bother to differentiate it. When in many cases, they do work differently. Yeah, you're right. He can't S support with Flavia. That sucks. It would be cool if they could, even if they couldn't, even if they didn't spawn a 2nd generation unit, just to give them an option, to have an S support. Because an S support is a little bit better than an A support. It's not a lot better, but it's a little bit better. The wiki only mentions the Fates versions. I mean, there's 3 different wikis, so we could have been looking at something different. Plus, I could also just be misremembering whatever I read. It does reduce the crit bonus in Fates. Yeah. I had a feeling it didn't in this game. That's why I wanted to test it. There's no particular reason to send Lonku into a different class. We're probably just going to reset him as an assassin. I'm pretty sure Master Seals work, but we have a bunch of second seals anyway, so I'll just use that. I think when you're at level 20, I think Master Seals actually work to reset your level to 1. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they might work. I'm not going to go buy one to test that out, because it would just be a waste if it doesn't work, because then I would just have to sell it back. Anyway, it makes the most sense to just keep him an assassin. So we're just going to keep him an assassin. This just allows him to gain 19 additional levels worth of stats, while keeping his bow and sword access with A rank in swords and bows. The good wiki says what the truth is, yeah. So yeah, it's either... I was probably maybe looking at one of the other wikis, like the crappy ones, or I'm just misremembering what I saw, or it was it also could have been fixed or changed. You know, that's always possible. Especially considering I've talked about this on stream before, so like someone who was watching my stream could have heard me say that what's written on the wiki is wrong, and then they could have gone, because anyone can change what is written on a wiki, then they would go and fix it. So now it says the right thing, whereas in the past it didn't. So there's a lot of possible explanations, including that I could just be misremembering, or I could just be wrong. I've been wrong many times in my life before. I will be wrong many more times in my life. It's the very essence of being a person. If you think that you are always right, that is not an indication that you're smart. It is an indication that you are very stupid. Alright, let me get rid of their inventories for now. Is there anything else that I necessarily need to do? Honestly, like inventory management and stuff, that's like the kind of thing that I could do off stream. I'm thinking about doing... I can't decide if I want to do the Iron Man or not today. Oh, wrong chapter. Where am I going? It's like over here? How did I forget that it was all the way over here? Let's take a look at the next map. Yeah, so the problem is this stream is a little bit on the short side right now, but if I wanted to start doing the Iron Man, I would probably have to stream for like 4 or 5 more hours, which I can't stream for 4 or 5 more hours. I have to get ready for the stuff that I have to do tomorrow. Anyway, this chapter, someone asked about it recently, and I want to talk about it a little bit today, even if we're not going to play it today. They asked if I felt like this map was boring after chapter 21. Sorry, chapter 23, right? This is 24, yeah. So if they asked if chapter 24 is boring after chapter 23, because it's a lot of the same thing, I actually don't think it's the same. I think it's actually very different. Chapter 24 is significantly more interesting to me. Between the forests, these rubble tiles, as well as having like empty spaces over here that you can fly on. This map has a lot more interesting stuff going on, because there's just so many different ways to take advantage of the terrain, both on your side and the enemy side. It just makes the engagements a lot more interesting. On top of that, you have a different enemy distribution, which makes it a different style of map. I actually really like the inclusion of flyers on this map with the forests. The reason is because everything on this map that is not a flyer is a mounted unit. So these mounted units, they spend 3 tiles of movement on every single forest tile, and because there are so many forest tiles, it kind of creates this really interesting dynamic where the enemy grounded units move very slowly through these forests, while the enemy flyers move very fast. And it makes it possible to separate the grounded units and the flying units on the enemy side, while on your side, you can use flight to your advantage to pick off the grounded units or to pick off the flying units, depending on what you prefer. And so this map just ends up being a lot more interesting for me. I actually really enjoy this map. It's one of my favorite maps. I think it's pretty difficult. The last time I played it would have been a while ago. The first time I ever beat this map, no, not the first time, but the first time I ever beat this map without grinding was in my run where I used Vake as my main carry, which was really fun. I just parked him on one of these forts. It was a Lunatic run. I just put him on one of these forts. It was Lunatic, no grind, and he basically just swept everything with soul tanking. You can't really do that on Lunatic Plus, unfortunately. But as a result, Lunatic Plus becomes a lot more interesting and a lot more fun as you use these hit and run tactics to just, you know, kind of like pick apart the enemy formations and things like that. One of the reasons why I just fell in love with Lunatic Plus, because it really forces you to either play the game in a really degenerate way that's extremely unfun, which everyone complains about, which I don't like, or the other option is to actually like play the game like the way that it, in my opinion, is intended to play, which is, you know, very tactically, taking into account enemy formations, you know, making player phase and enemy phase actions, and thinking like big picture and making like big movements every single turn, and having the difficulty always be like changing, like the conditions in the battlefield change every turn. It makes the battles extremely dynamic, which I really love. Snow Warning says it's a mountain map. Of course the enemies are mounted. Is that supposed to be a joke? You wish we saw more of the waterfall in the background? Yeah, it is really beautiful. You didn't even know about the empty tiles. There's a lot of maps in this game that have weird stuff like that. Like there's weird like islands that your players normally can't reach, or there's empty tiles on the corner of the map. But if you use flying characters, and if you're like me and you examine the whole map and you always try to look for tiles that you can use to your advantage, you can always find little things like that. Like in the Mila tree, the tiles that I showed off with the tree roots on the edges of the map, and how you can use those to stall out the enemy reinforcements, stuff like that. By the way, I was watching one of Kurui's old runs earlier this week from like 9 years ago. It was one of the very first Lunatic Plus Iron Man runs to get some ideas, and they use a really interesting strategy in Chapter 5. I'm actually very excited to try it out, because even though their run was tailored toward kind of preparing Robin to sweep through the rest of the game, the thing is, the conditions were deathless, and so as a result, they came up with a strategy to keep all of the characters alive in Chapter 5, and I can use that I've adapted Kurui's strategies to my runs before. Like, even though they're typically Robin-centric strategies, I can watch their runs and it can help me come up with ideas for my runs. And in this case, I came up with a really good idea where I can adapt what Kurui did in Chapter 5 to my own run. And I could use it to train other characters other than Robin, because it's a strategy that you can use to keep everyone alive and slowly chip away at the enemies. So I could do the same thing and just use it to train characters other than Robin instead of using it to train Robin. Someone called Retro Gaming Master is doing a Maniac Mode Iron Man run. Is anyone interested in watching that? There's actually a lot of people who have upcoming Fire Emblem streams planned, scheduled for later. But the only person streaming right now is me, and then this Retro Gaming Master. I don't know them, I've never been to their channel, but let's assume that if they're playing Fire Emblem, it might be interesting to watch. Yeah, the bottom right corner strat, yeah. What's the unfun way to play Lunatic Plus? Basically hiding in a corner with one character, or two characters, or three characters, and just slowly chipping away at enemies over the course of like 200 turns. You see me do a little bit of that from time to time, but typically when I do it, it's usually to set up training. Like it's so that I can train units who are otherwise very difficult or impossible to train. But some people use that strategy to basically get through the entire game. Like every single encounter, their solution is always to hide in the corner and slowly chip down enemies, which just to me, it just gets boring. And people try that and they do it and they're like, man, this sucks, it's not fun, Awakening isn't a fun game, or Lunatic Plus is unplayable. And it's not Lunatic Plus's fault, it's your fault for trying to play the game that way. You don't have to play the game that way. I've shown it, people have seen it, there's enough information out there. You can play the game in ways that are more interesting and more engaging. You guess Awakening isn't retro quite yet. I mean, I guess it technically is. But yeah, either way, guys, I have a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I have a very important thing that I have to do tomorrow. It's going to take up my entire day. I really don't want to do it, but I have to, so it's just... And then I have to do stuff today to get ready. So unfortunately, in a weird way, because I was able to beat the map very quickly, this is going to end up being a very short stream, because I can't start anything else, because anything else that I start is going to end up going on for another 2 hours or 3 hours or 5 hours, and I can't stream for that. I can't stream for 3 more hours today. So I'm just going to have to go. Thank you everyone for coming. Thanks for the likes. Goodbye Neff, goodbye Puchivert. Yeah, you can either do like kill, Gale Force, unequip. You can kill something and then have like the character standing behind you, unequip you, stuff like that. Yeah. The Iron Man completion can wait a year or two. There's no rush. Honestly, I'd really like to do. I'd really like to at least start the Iron Man attempts before the end of this year, and I feel like we're getting close to the point where I can do that, because once I have the route from Chapter 12, like up to Chapter 12 solved, I feel confident in my ability to beat the rest of the game, or at least to solve the rest of the game quicker. Hello, Greybell. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, unfortunately you missed it. I'm sorry to tell you. And I'm not going to have time to do Iron Man attempts today. Someone voted that they're more interested in Uma Musume. Awesome. I have to play some Uma Musume today. Yeah, so I have to find time to play some Uma Musume. I have to find time to eat. I haven't eaten yet today. I have to take a shower and like clean up, like shave and all that stuff so I can look good tomorrow. There's just so much stuff that I have to do that I don't want to do. Anyway, I'm gonna head out. Paulo, thank you for coming as well. Thanks for the stream, you're saying? Well, thank you for coming and all that stuff. Everyone, am I excited for the new Fire Emblem? Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm at least willing to give it a try. It's at least something that I want to check out. But yeah, everyone, you know, take care of yourselves, drink water, eat healthy, exercise more than you probably do now, unless you exercise a lot already. If you don't exercise at all, just exercise for like 10 minutes, and it's better than not exercising at all. I don't have anything else to say, so for now, enjoy the rest of your day.